We're beyond excited to hear that the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will release worldwide in 2024. Now, you must have several questions, starting with the details and how the story will pick up after the last film. So, here's everything you need to know, from the cast to the plot to the release date. Stick around to find out all the deets. First up, how this whole thing started. Rupert Wyatt reworked the classic film Planet of the Apes. It was an ambitious project, especially given the iconic quality of the 1968 original screenplay, which starred Charlton Heston. But expectations were low because this earlier work was an adaptation of Pierre Boulle's 1964 literary classic by the same name. Only one question remained: will Wyatt's adaptation resemble the earlier work or the 2001 adaptation? The outcome was quite surprising. After 20th Century Fox Studios began playing with the idea of a reboot, Rupert Wyatt got called in as a potential director. Given the outcome, it was written in the stars. According to Wyatt, a shared vision helped him land the job. Thus began the creative process for the development of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, reimagining a classic story for the modern day. Moving on to where we left off. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was the first installment in a trilogy. The three films would tell a complete and captivating narrative of the primate class Hominoidea's uprising via Wyatt's vision. Wyatt, however, was unable to fulfill his vision. When it came to directing the sequel, the release date pressed him, and he gracefully dropped out of the project. Matt Reeves stepped up and directed the remaining sequels, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes. It's been 5 years since the apes last waged war on humans, leaving viewers yearning for more. What happens when primates rule the world? Fortunately, there is still hope for a conclusion. Fans will finally see a finale to the dramatic epic in the late spring of 2024. Here's all you need to know about the upcoming film Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Coming up, what is the plot of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? The sequel to the 2017 feature film War of the Planet of the Apes is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The story begins many years in the future. Primates have attacked humanity to assert their claim to rule. Caesar from Rise of the Planet of the Apes is no longer alive. His martyrdom is a distant memory, but his legacy lives on. Unfortunately, plot points beyond these specifics are limited. Anything beyond those few tidbits of knowledge is pure speculation. Given the title, context leads one to believe that the future film will explore a society in which apes have taken control and the resulting associative issues. Let's talk about production and a planned trilogy. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes production will begin this month. In addition, filming will take place in New South Wales at the recently renamed Disney Studios Australia. And Wes Ball, the acclaimed director of Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and Maze Runner Death Cure, will direct this project, which will be a pleasure for fans. Reports that Disney is interested in the script and that there are plans in the works for another trilogy are intriguing. According to press announcements, they wrote this story for a 4-person team composed of Amanda Silver, Patrick Anson, Rick Jaffa, and Josh Friedman. And given this creative team, expectations for a rich story with a depth of perspective are high. Coming up, let's talk about the cast and release date. Although there are few storyline details, casting news is no secret. The studio has given a complete cast list, but the characters they will play are still unknown. Kevin Durand, Owen Teague, Peter Macon, Ika Darville, Freya Allen, Travis Jeffrey, Neil Sandilands, Sarah Wiseman, Ross Samuel, Welda Obsky, and Lydia Peckham will star in the movie. Disney revealed the upcoming release of the film Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on October 11th, 2022. The film will be released 3 weeks after Captain America: The New World Order by Marvel. For those who need to mark their calendars, they will release the next installment in the Planet of the Apes saga saga on May 24th, 2024. Now, replacing Caesar is the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes' toughest challenge. The sequel to the critically acclaimed Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, will have the difficult task of replacing Andy Serkis's Caesar. Given the official announcement of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, followed by a brief synopsis and cast reveal, it seems like Andy Serkis will not be appearing in the upcoming Planet of the Apes movie, which makes sense given that Caesar died at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes. But Caesar was linked with the 2010s Planet of the Apes trilogy, posing a significant challenge for Planet of the Apes 4. The original Planet of the Apes films and Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes focused heavily on the sci-fi side of the story. This included time travel and historical paradoxes, and the reboot trilogy focused far more on the characters. But Rise of the Planet of the Apes tried to keep the plot grounded by making Caesar the focus. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, released in 2010, was not about the planet or the war. It was about how the fight influenced Caesar's journey, and vice versa. He was a beautifully written and played character who defined rise, dawn, and war. Not to mention, the Planet of the Apes 4 shouldn't try to create a new Caesar. Planet of the Apes 4 should aim for a primary character who is as rich and layered as Caesar, but it should not simply create a new one, whether it's Cornelius or a whole new character. The next key character in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should allow the movie to explore different sides of that universe and move the story ahead, rather than simply rehashing Caesar's Planet of the Apes adventure. Rise, Dawn, and War each told a part of a bigger story, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and its future sequels could aim to replicate that. Given that Planet of the Apes 4 will take place many years after the war, the film could be a remake of the first Planet of the Apes film, which the 2010s trilogy chose not to do. If that's the case, Cornelius as the new primary character would make sense. More than continuing Caesar's bloodline, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should maintain the previous trilogy's character-focused approach, whether for a new lead only or a huge cast of characters. Up next, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes title revealed some story details. The expansion of the Apes' reign is the first story detail revealed by the title. The previous 3 films portrayed the evolution of apes and the establishment of a colony under Caesar's leadership. It can be called a kingdom, as that colony has increased in size. Instead of controlling a part of the forest or even a small town, the kingdom now appears to be an enormous ape empire, stretching throughout the ruins of simian flu-infected America. The movie title suggests the sequel's future setting in the Planet of the Apes timeline, based on the idea of the apes' civilization developing into a kingdom. Also, the title emphasizes how much time has passed since Caesar's death. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will most likely take place decades later in the timeline to provide a realistic time frame for the apes' dominance to grow. The title, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, also teases humanity's fate. Even as the ape group grew, there were still enough humans present to pose a threat. The idea that the apes have a kingdom, similar to the original Planet of the Apes film, implies that they are now the dominant species and civilization on Earth, meaning that humans are in ruins. Finally, Kingdom's timeline means great things for Planet of the Apes 5 and 6. While Planet of the Apes 5 and 6 have not been announced, if Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is successful, it will most likely serve as the beginning point for a new trilogy. So, with a new Planet of the Apes trilogy set far in the future, avoiding the events of the original films will be difficult. The most plausible option is that Planet of the Apes 4, 5, and 6 will tell a new story set in the same period, while reimagining events from the previous films. Rise, Dawn, and War have already provided a different scenario for the beginning of the apocalypse than the original films, establishing this new saga as a reboot. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will face the daunting challenge of continuing rebooting a critically acclaimed trilogy while reimagining a sci-fi classic. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Are you excited about it? Let us know in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.